Beyond the suns that guard this roost, beyond your flowers of flaming truth, beyond your latest ad campaigns.
Greetings everyone, it's me, Matthew Moretz, one of the priests here at Christ Church in Rye, New York, and I love church history. You just never know what you're going to get. I also love graphic novels, and there's a great book that is the perfect mix of the two. That's The Big Book of Martyrs by John Wagner. He's got this great piece on the apostles. Check it out.
If you sat down and tried to name the 12 apostles, you might find it to be a difficult task, especially considering that they kept changing their names. The apostles were Jesus' close disciples, witnesses to his mission, and later to his resurrection, charged with carrying his message far and wide. We know a lot about Peter, but little is known about many of them. Andrew was the brother of Peter. He is especially remembered for his part in the feeding of the 5,000. Where he carried his gospel is uncertain. We think maybe Greece. During his crucifixion, Andrew is said to have preached for 2 days before he died. Legend has it that he, among other things, turned 7 demons into dogs. James the Greater was the first apostle to die for his faith. He was martyred by Herod Agrippa in 44 AD to appease Jewish enemies. James the Less, to distinguish him from the older James, may have been the first bishop of Jerusalem, or maybe not. The truth is, nothing is known for certain about him. He is reputed to have been beaten to death with his emblem, a fuller's club. John was described in the Bible as the one Jesus loved. He was the brother of James the Greater. They were known as the Sons of Thunder, and this stood for their fiery tempers. John is credited with authorship of the 4th Gospel. He was a companion of Peter and one of the pillars of the Church of Jerusalem. The only known apostle to have escaped martyrdom, John lived to a ripe old age. Despite the story, he was boiled in oil. Jude, also known as Thaddeus, is taken to be the author of the Epistle of Jude and brother of James the Less. According to legend, his mission took him to Persia, where he was martyred. Jude's name is invoked by those in desperate straits. Matthew, also called Levi, was a Jewish collector of taxes for the Romans. He was in his office when Jesus called to him, and the Pharisees wondered why Jesus would eat with such a bad type. Even then, tax collectors were unpopular. According to legend, Matthew was blinded and imprisoned in Ethiopia, and only cured when Andrew was summoned to his rescue by an angel. We don't know where Matthew was martyred, though Ethiopia and Persia have been suggested. Before his death, it is said that eunuchs allegedly pitted him in mortal combat with a dragon. After the betrayal by Judas, a new apostle was needed to make up numbers. The choice was between 2 men, Joseph, called Barsabbas, and Matthias. The choice was by lot, and the victor was Matthias. He was present at Pentecost when the power of God was manifested and all were filled with the Holy Spirit. But beyond that, nothing is known about Matthias. According to legend, he was put to death with an axe or halberd. Philip left a wife and 3 children to follow Jesus. Legend has him pitted against a dragon. While he exorcised it, some spectators were burned, and one of them was the son of a local priest who had Philip crucified upside down. Simon was known as the Zealot, not because of any particular character trait, but because of his former membership in a strict Jewish sect. As with others of his later life, there is only speculation. Some of it has that Simon shared Jude's martyrdom in Persia. Last but not least was Thomas, or Didymus, the doubter, famously skeptical about the resurrection until Christ showed him his wounds. It is believed by some that Thomas took the gospel all the way to India. Legend has it that Christ arranged for him to be sold into slavery in order to get him there. There, the king gave him money to build a palace. Instead, Thomas gave it away to the poor. This angered the king immensely. The king's dead brother told him in a dream about a palace that Thomas's generosity had built for him in heaven, and Thomas was spared. Yet another prince, angered that the saint had bewitched his wife, completed the job.
I hope you enjoyed that survey of the little-known apostles. Until next time, peace be with you. Father Matthew Presents is a ministry of the Episcopal Church, which welcomes you.